If you're a high school athletic director, you probably didn't go to school to be a marketer. You likely studied education, sports management, coaching, leadership, but here's the reality. Today, every athletic director is a marketer. The programs that understand this are thriving, and the programs that don't are struggling with low game attendance, budget pressure, declining community engagement, and student athletes who feel like nobody notices their accomplishments. And the crazy part is, most athletic directors don't know that marketing is a problem. So in this video, I'm going to show you why athletic directors today are actually marketers, what the best athletic departments in the country are doing differently, and tactics and strategies that you can implement within your athletic department to transform your program's marketing. 20 years ago, high school athletic departments didn't really need marketing. And that's because attention already existed. The local newspaper covered every big game, community members talked about high school sports at the local diner, and students went to games because there wasn't much competing for their attention. But today, everything has changed. Students live on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Parents are overwhelmed with emails, notifications, and constant information. And across the country, local media coverage of high school sports, well, it's largely disappeared. The thing that used to power high school athletics, attention, is now the most competitive resource in the world. Welcome to the attention economy. Today, the average American spends about 6 hours per day consuming media and entertainment. Teenagers spend almost 9 hours per day on screens, not including their schoolwork. And nearly half of US teens say they're online almost constantly. Think about that for a second. Your program is competing for attention with Instagram, TikTok, Netflix, YouTube, and almost every other piece of content on the internet. So why does this matter for athletic departments? Because if you're not actively telling your story, then two things can happen. The first is simple. No one tells it. Your athletes accomplish incredible things and almost no one hears about it. Your team wins big games, but the community barely notices. Over time, something subtle starts to happen. The program begins to feel smaller, less visible, less important. Not because the coaches and athletes aren't doing great things, but because fewer people hear about them. And when that happens, support slowly stops. Attendance drops, community support erodes, parents feel less connected to the program. And for an athletic director, perception matters. When school boards, superintendents, principals, and parents evaluate their athletic department, they're gonna ask things like, are we creating a great student athlete experience? Is our athletic department modern and professional? Are we generating school pride? If the answer to these questions is no, then the pressure for you as athletic director builds. But the second possibility may be even worse. Someone else tells the athletic department story for you. Maybe it's a parent posting on Facebook, a student uploading a video to Instagram, or a back and forth that's happening in a comment section. And when it happens, the narrative around your program is not something that you control. It's shaped by people who don't see the full picture. A single moment becomes the story, a rumor becomes the headline, a negative comment becomes the conversation. And all of a sudden, you're managing a narrative that you didn't create. Because in today's world, if you're not actively telling your story and shaping that narrative, then the reality is someone else will very likely tell that story, and you might not like what it is. But here's something interesting. If you look at what athletic directors actually spend a huge amount of their time doing, it's communication. Think about your day. You're constantly sharing scores after games, promoting upcoming matchups, recognizing athlete achievement, announcing awards and milestones, updating parents about schedules and changes, communicating with coaches, and getting the word out to your community. There are stories happening inside your athletic program every single day, and someone has to share them. But here's the realization that most athletic directors don't make. This is marketing. Marketing simply means telling your program's story in a way that people notice and care about. And whether it's intentional or not, high school athletic directors are doing this almost every single day. Because athletics sits at the center of the school community. It connects students, it brings parents and families together, it gives the community something to rally around. And when people outside of your athletic department look at your program, they aren't just seeing schedules and scores. They're forming a perception. And that perception matters, whether right or wrong, because it influences people. The best athletic programs in the country have figured something out. They treat their high school athletic departments like a brand, and not in a sterile corporate way, but in a way that builds community pride. And when you look at these programs, you'll notice something. They tend to do three things really well. The first is social media and digital storytelling. Programs like Green Level High School in North Carolina have made storytelling online a consistent part of their athletic department strategy. Their athletic director, Colin Fegley, North Carolina's athletic director of the year, made a decision early on. He wanted his athletics program to feel like a collegiate brand to create a Division I-like experience for student athletes and community. Green Level was a brand new school when he became the AD, so he did this right from the start. They started posting game results, recognizing student athletes, celebrating signing days, highlighting championships and big moments. But what really stood out for Colin and Green Level was the consistency and quality of the content that they were sharing. Professional graphics, high quality photos and videos, and consistent branding. Not to be flashy, but because Colin knew that this signaled something important, that the program cares about excellence. And the results speak for themselves. Over a 12-month period, Green Level's athletic accounts on social media generated over 1 million impressions. Today, their athletic department accounts on social media average over 450,000 impressions and 50,000 profile visits every month. That means hundreds of thousands of people are engaging with Green Level. That's students, parents, alumni, community members, friends, and family. They're seeing stories about Green Level athletics every single month. Parents share the posts, students follow teams outside of their own sports, and the community stays connected to what's happening. The second thing, direct communication with their community. At Green Level, they publish a monthly athletic department newsletter called Swamp Stories. Each month, it highlights athlete recognitions like their student athletes of the month, team accomplishments like state championships, major milestones across the department, and upcoming games and events. And this digital newsletter gets thousands of views every single month. That means thousands of people are hearing from Green Level on a monthly basis, getting that narrative directly from the athletic department. Most athletic departments have dozens of incredible stories happening every month. The difference is whether these stories actually get heard, actually get shared with the community. And with Swamp Stories, Green Level delivers on this month after month. And the third thing, the on-campus experience. At Green Level, they've invested heavily in making sure that not only do they have an incredible online experience when it comes to storytelling and brand, but that also this continues when folks step onto campus in person. They have a 75-inch touchscreen display that they use to highlight their team championships, individual awards, student athletes of the year, athletic records, and so much more. They have TVs throughout their athletic facilities that cycle through important announcements and information. So as students, staff, stakeholders are walking by, they can see that information and help better communicate what's happening around the program. And they have great physical branding, wall graphics, wall wraps throughout the program that really bring their brand to life in person. It creates this Division I collegiate-like experience when you're there on campus. And of course, creates just an amazing experience for both the student athletes, coaches, staff, and folks on campus, and for any visitors coming to Green Level. It reinforces something powerful, that athletics matter here. And that reverberates through not just the student athletes and the coaches and the staff members at Green Level, but also for any visitors or alumni coming to their campus. When you combine these three things, consistent storytelling online, direct communication with your community, and a strong on-campus presence, something incredible starts to happen. The program becomes more visible, the community becomes more engaged, and over time, your athletic department develops a reputation, a feeling that someone gets when they hear your name. They immediately think of a program that's professional, that's organized, that values their athletics, that values their student athletes. And that doesn't happen by accident. It happens because someone is consistently telling the story of their program. When it's done right, it shapes perception in a positive way. It builds you a great reputation. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but I'm way too busy. As an athletic director, you have so much on your plate. Athletic directors are some of the busiest people at their school. You're managing schedules, transportation, coaches, parents, facilities, officials, eligibility, and so much more. So the question becomes, how does an athletic department do great marketing when as an athletic director, you're already stretched thin? The answer is not more hours. It's systems and technology. Systems create consistency and accountability. The best athletic directors don't simply rely on remembering to post to social media, every now and then sending out a newsletter to their community. They build simple rhythms into how their athletic departments operate. For example, recognizing athletes of the month every month, collecting scores from varsity coaches after every game, and sharing game results across social media, publishing a monthly athletic department newsletter to the community. Not because someone randomly thought to do it, but because it's simply part of the routine. Systems create consistency. They make sure the stories of the program actually get shared. Second, technology that makes the work possible. This is because even with the best systems, if you don't have the right tools, you're not going to be able to actually get the work done as a busy athletic director. You can't work 24 hours, 7 days a week. So you need technology to actually help take that load off and ensure that you can deliver on those systems. Great technology makes it possible to do things that simply wouldn't be possible otherwise, or would require way more resources to get done. So think of technology in the context of being a great marketer as a high school athletic director. Instead of taking hours to create game day graphics for all your teams, use a system that can help get that done in minutes. Technology makes it possible to create professional level graphics in minutes, to share all of your social media posts automatically or schedule them to go out at a specific day or time in the future without you having to do anything. You can recognize athletes publicly and communicate with your entire community without adding hours and hours of work to your plate. When you combine these things, great systems and great technology, the story of the program starts to get told consistently, and the athletic department starts to build real momentum. Not because someone suddenly had more time, but because the process became much easier to execute. So the next time that you think of your role as an athletic director, remember this: you're not only managing your athletic department, you're building pride for your entire community, you're celebrating your student athletes, you're telling your program story, and you're engaging all of your key stakeholders. And today, that means that you're also a marketer.